This time of year, when the days are getting shorter, but before we change the clocks, it's easy to catch both the sunrise and the sunset on your average day. An experience that I think is out of reach for most of the year. The length of daylight can just rule your life when you live in a van. You become so attuned to it. I love this sunrise right up ahead. It's beautiful. The contrast between the light and the dark there. It's a beautiful day here in Western Mass. The autumn colors are popping. I want to get out there and do some stuff today. But first, I got to deal with a situation in my van. When I got back from my road trip, I did a deep cleaning in here. And then I used those little air fresheners afterwards. I used a black ice one up here in the cockpit and a cookie scented one back in the cabin. Yesterday, I did a 4-hour cooking marathon, a meal prep here in the van. Needless to say, now my van smells like an Indian grocery store that burnt down in a fire. It's just overpowering. I'm at Walmart. I'm going to see if they have some sort of solution to absorb some of this smells before I kill myself. There's a beautiful Sprinter van converted right next to mine. Whenever I see those in the wild, I always kind of want to talk to the owner. I don't think someone lives in that one though. Looks more like a weekend warrior type thing. Still a beautiful van though. Is this what I want? Rainforest? I feel like I'm just piling on more scents. Yeah, I think I'm going with good old-fashioned baking soda. I wish I didn't have to buy 6 freaking pounds of it. Thankfully, it's only $3. I'm not really sure the best way to use this stuff. I don't want to just like sprinkle it all over the floor. That's just trading a smell for a visual mess, you know what I mean? I think I might just leave the box open for now and kind of leave it in the sink in case it spills, and we'll just see what that does. Man, they make these things freaking hard to open. So I just talked to this guy in the van. He's from the West Coast. He's been doing this since May. He does in fact live in his van. This is going to be his first winter coming up. So we exchanged some ideas. He told me not to get that awning that he got because it constantly breaks. So I'm glad I haven't bought an awning yet. Now I need to go somewhere scenic. I want to catch some of these fall colors and get some exercises. My first stop on this beautiful fall day is a waterfall called Glendale Falls in Middlefield. A beautiful cascade. Used to come here as a kid. I remember the road being a bit of a challenge.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left.
Let's see if I can make it. Here we go. Clark Wright Road. That sounds correct. I just passed a sign that said closed, no winter maintenance. The road is pretty rough. The problem with this type of road is there's no way to turn around. Yeah, why do the coolest places just have to be so sketchy? I don't believe it. I actually made it.
Your destination is on the left.
And something crashed in the back of my van. Yeah, how cool is this view, even though I realize I must look like a shadow to you guys. Florida doesn't have anything like this. Speaking of Florida, I got my hair cut today. My hairstylist grew up in Florida, came up to here a few years ago. She says it's so cold up here. Whenever it's 60 degrees, she's freezing. I told her how I just went down to Florida. It got to be 158 degrees in my van and I was hallucinating. And she said, yeah, we don't really have seasons down there in Florida. I never thought of that. I could never live without seasons. This spot is the best place to be this season. You can walk down this cascade. I'm gonna do that right now and take you guys with me. The trail runs along the edge. I recommend doing that, but right here you can walk across on the rocks. It's safe enough to get to the other side. The reason I want to get to the other side is over there, there's the ruins of an old grist mill. Yeah, this mill was abandoned in the 1700s. It's really, really old. This mill was part of the Glendale Farm, erected before the American Revolutionary War. This technically might be the oldest British mill in the United States. A grist mill, in case you're wondering, just had a water wheel and it ran over the river. It ground grain into powder, basically. Same thing the windmills do in Amsterdam. It's amazing how well preserved the ruins are here. In Massachusetts, it's illegal to move all of these stone markers like this. I think what I'm gonna do now is just try to go down to the bottom of the fall on this side of the river and work my way up the other side. This side is very close to a property boundary. Thankfully, the trustees have preserved most of the land here. I wish they could preserve a little bit more. Be warned, right here at the bottom is someone's house. The trustees saved a lot of property here, but not all of it. I think it's hard to portray the scale of this place without a person in the shot, but I'm feeling too lazy to set up my tripod and run into the shot. You can kind of see the main waterfall is that's about 15 feet, that drop right there. That's the biggest of the cascade. I think the entire elevation drop from top to bottom is 300 feet. It's a beautiful place. I'm gonna get back up to the top. Can you see that, the little bit of light? The sun is setting at 6 o'clock, which blows my mind. I think the number one enemy of van life is not the cold, not the bureaucracy, it's the darkness of winter. When you live in a vehicle, your space to move around in is so small, you know? In a house, you can go upstairs, you can go downstairs, you can walk down the hallway, you can do stuff. When you live in a vehicle, like the outside world is my living room. And when it's dark, you can't see anything, you can't do anything. It's just depressing. I also do not want to drive this crazy ass freaking road in the dark, so I'm gonna get going. I have no idea where I'm sleeping tonight. I did a big box store last night. I don't want to do that again. I might actually sleep right here. Yeah, even though I think no one would come by here during the night, I'm not gonna sleep here at the falls. Because in the morning, I get hangry really quickly. I want bagels like within 15 minutes, and I feel like it would take an hour to get out of this freaking place. So yeah, let's hit the road. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get my brake pads replaced after the last 3 weeks. I've gone up and down so many insane hills. Come on, come on. Oh, I hate reversing. A big part of van life is finding new sleeping spots. You always have to be probing, always have to be exploring. I go down every road I come across just to see where it goes. This one is no good. There's a house at the end of the street. But this is just something you have to do. You can't just stay in the same place over and over. I'm a lover of light, especially colorful light. When I was into photography, the only thing I would shoot was sunrises and sunsets. Even when I drive now in the van, I sometimes just shoot the sunset out the front window. I did a lot of that tonight, but the darkness is something else. I'm not looking forward to a long, dark winter. I am also dealing with the worst headache I've probably ever had in my life. I have weaned down on coffee. I only had one small coffee this morning. I had been drinking up to like 4 cups of coffee, big things of coffee a day, and a lot of Diet Coke and stuff. And let me tell you, I blame this whole caffeine addiction all on YouTube and van life. Because I spend so much time in coffee shops. Editing video takes a lot of time. I'm spending more time on a laptop probably than I ever have in my life. And my third place to do that is a coffee shop. So I'd go in there for, a couple hours editing video. And then I would just keep buying coffees to justify to the staff that I can spend all that time in the coffee shop. You know what I mean? Anyway, the caffeine thing got out of control. I'm trying to wean it off and it sucks. My head hurts. But I am sleeping on a highway shoulder right now. It's kind of like a rest stop sort of thing. There's cars going by. I think I should be fine. I'm gonna call it a night. I'll see you guys in the morning. Oh. I slept like a baby at that trailhead, and I am up just as the sun is rising. I'm passing by a lake here, and the fog coming off of it, and the fall color. It's just the most beautiful thing. Right now, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Like I said, I am hangry in the morning. Here's a video of the moon behind my van at the coffee shop because I thought video of me drinking coffee is kind of boring. But I do know what I'm gonna do today. Someone in there told me about this cave up in Bennington, Vermont, near a beautiful old mansion. There's some great trails up there. I'm gonna go explore that today. This road up to Vermont, Route 8, I think it is, or maybe Route 7, is gotta be one of the most scenic in the country. Vermont is just so beautiful in the fall. All of New England is beautiful, but Vermont, the whole state, is just mountains from top to bottom. This trailhead right here is right at the base of a beautiful ridgeline peaking right now. I just gotta figure out where to park. Yeah, look at this mountain right up ahead. I think I might be climbing that, but if you look at this sign right here, no overnight parking. I guess people have tried to do that. Well, I'll scratch this place off my list. I just had the most Vermont experience parking at this trailhead for Mount Anthony here. I asked a couple of the locals the directions to the trailhead I wanted, which is to Everett Cave, and they purposely gave me wrong directions. I looked at GPS, I knew they were wrong. That's happened to me maybe like 5 times in my life, always in Vermont. Yeah, I think they see my mass plate. Anyway, like I said, I am hiking to Everett Cave on the side of Mount Anthony here. It's like a small crack to the eye. Oh man, I have to stop doing this while hiking uphill. Oh, yeah, Everett Cave, it looks like a small crack when you get up close to it, but there's actually a ton more behind it if you can squeeze through. Hopefully I can make it there without passing out from freaking narrating and hiking at the same time. So it's worth noting that the trailhead to the cave is not at the end of, like, not at the base of the mountain. You actually walk down a little bike path for a bit. I did not know that, so I'm walking downhill, which is much easier to narrate. Still, I'm getting into just like shooting B-rolls for periods of time. B-roll is footage without audio, just like filler. Whenever I do a sequence of a video with like a music score, that's when I just shot B-roll for like half the day. It's a bit of a climb, but your biggest enemy here is not the elevation, it's these little leaves that act like sleds under your feet. You have to duck a little to get in here and also bring a headlamp. I don't think you can get a scale of the size unless I record it like this. I am getting down on my knees right now. All right, let's see what is down here. It's just a hole that keeps getting deeper and deeper. Oh man, yeah, I'm not squeezing under that. Sorry for the horror light, guys, but after that first tight squeeze, you come to a room with tunnels at both ends. One is just like a dead end, the one I just took you to. The other just keeps going. So look at those beautiful stalactites. Should I go? You can kind of squeeze this way, but I think you can keep going around a turn here too. Oh yeah, that keeps going. So there's these 2 options right here, but also guys, look up. I don't know if you can see. Maybe the light's not bright enough. It's like there's actually a rope right behind me. See that? That's because you can keep climbing up. All right, guys, I turned the low light green light off. I only did that because other people were here and I wasn't trying to ruin it for them. But this is a better lit shot of where this rope goes. That's about 16 feet up right there into an even larger auditorium. I'll try to zoom in. If I were probably not running YouTube, I would do that hike right there. You're gonna get really dirty climbing up that. But I could make that squeeze, but you know, I'm middle-aged right now, and also I hate being dirty. I'm not prepared for that, and I don't want to hurt my knees like that, so I'm going to turn around. You can get lost in here. Don't come here alone. And I'm going to turn around right now because I am in here alone, and it's a little bit spooky. Yeah, this is the spookiest place I've ever been, guys. Like, it's so disorienting, the darkness and all the jaggedness, and I just want to get out of here. I'm getting claustrophobic really, really fast. Okay, so I see light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, well, thank God. I see green. I see the trees. I want to get the frick out of here. Oh man. I want to do what those guys are doing. Come with friends and come with the right light. What freaked me out in there was the bright contrast between light and dark when I turned on that brighter headlamp. If you come here with the wrong light, you know, ugh. For me, like, contrast between light and dark is just the worst thing in life. I'm so sensitive to it. And in van life, when you live in a tin box, when it's too dark to do anything outside, which is like your living room, you're just in a confined space for so much more of the day. If that bothers you, you have to like reconsider van life. I am going up Mount Anthony after all, I guess. And I noticed there's a lot of rock formations, crags on the side of this mountain. This one right here looks perfectly cubical, like a foundation of something, but that's all natural. I have no idea where I'm going. Lower Beacon, wherever or whatever that is. Yeah, you should probably use a map. I haven't even looked at it yet. I'm a sucky hiker sometimes. Well, I found out what the beacon is. Yeah, it's literally a transmission beacon. I thought it was something cool like a cave or something. So I am pretty much on the ridge. I think I'll just keep walking south or north or whatever the heck this is. I still have not looked on the map. Thank God that they posted these excellent trail maps on the signs here. I take back my sentiment from the last video. I'm actually enjoying walking this trail between the transmission beacons. They're like that movie 2001, you know, just like this monolith in the middle of the woods. I think this is such a New England thing to do, to walk trails under power lines. The light was beautiful up there on the ridge, and up ahead there's the ruins of some big foundation up here. Looks like a big building. Let's go check it out. Yeah, this was a substantial building, whatever it was. I think it was a mansion, Everett Mansion. I'm kind of lazy to look it up. I'm just enjoying shooting B-roll right now. I was wrong. That's not abandoned ruins right there. It's part of this trail. This is a landscape trail right here. I think it leads to the Everett Mansion. This is the home of Edward Everett, who made his fortune in bottling. He founded the company that's now called Owens Corning. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of it. It's kind of dark. I normally like stone, like masonry and stuff, but this is just kind of bland. The Everett Mansion is really, really ugly, but I also don't like the choice of monuments scattered around the campus. What is up with the beheaded Jesus? Like, what the hell religion is that? I missed the boat on that. It's kind of ironic that someone who made his fortune in bottling also has no taste. So I'm gonna go back to my car, try to find somewhere else to hike and shoot for what little light is left in the day. I can't stand how early the sun sets this time of year. I don't think a visit to Vermont in the fall would be complete without a stop at the old apple orchard. They also have a great coffee in here. And even though I said I'm trying to quit coffee, I had one this morning and I have the worst headache right now. So I need a fix. I might get some goodies as well. Oh yeah, I'll definitely get a sticker, but I can't stand this type of sticker, the big capital letters. I see them everywhere. I just don't like them. This is pretty tasteful. Oh man, the apple cider donut smells so good here. It's so tempting. But I had a huge coffee cake this morning. The orchard here at the Apple Barn in 1910 was the largest orchard in the world. It was over 10 miles long. It was called the Everett Orchard, I guess by that same guy whose house we were just at. They had a sign in there that also had some facts about apples. It said you can't plant an apple tree from just planting the seed. Like, you have to plant the whole apple fruit. I thought that was kind of interesting. I got myself a maple vanilla latte, which tastes delicious. They had so many treats in there. They had a maple walnut fudge that was so tempting to get, but it has to be like 3,000 calories. It was the most dense thing I ever got. So I'm just gonna polish this off, put the sticker in the van, and then probably head south back to the Berkshires. Route 7 down in the Berkshire County from Vermont is so scenic, and the light is beautiful right now. I am rushing to drive to a spot where I can hopefully catch the sunset over Mount Greylock. It's up here in Windsor. There's only a few minutes of light left in the day. I cannot believe it. Yeah, right up here. Right there. This town I'm going through right now, it's called Peru. That's the tower that I did in my first YouTube video at the left side of your video there. The foliage is already past peak here. The trees are mostly bare. There's something so enchanting when that happens. It can be an enchanting time of year. It can also be a depressing one when the days get short, when you get out of work and it's already dark out. When you live in a van, you know, you're going to be spending a lot of time in it during this time of year, so make sure your van is as cozy and as stimulating as it can possibly be. For me, it's disco ball lighting and having a hobby. YouTube video editing gives me something to do, and also having a gym. A gym is a huge, important boon in van life. Just for something to do during the dark hours, heat, a shower, all of that stuff. I'll probably go more into that in a later video. I think this whole video is about just like darkness and light or something like that. Thanks for watching. My name is Matt. I live in my van. Been living in it since September 21st, 2022. So a couple years now. Hit that like button below. Hit subscribe if you want to see more about van life stuff. What it's like living in a van in New England. There's not many other New England van dwellers on YouTube. Actually, there's none. I can't find any. So, thanks for watching. Stick around. I'll see you in the next adventure. Peace out.